Okay, so what was so important that I had to cut off that last video and make a separate one? It's Cardcaptor Sakura, and also we'll mention chobits, because chobits, you're an issue too. But yeah, Cardcaptor Sakura. First of all, I was thinking about this because it's like the anniversary or something of Cardcaptor Sakura coming out, so I've been seeing a lot of people talk about it, and it's always positively. And I'm like, am I the only normal person in the world? I know that I'm not, because I know that like other people talk about this, but not enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the perception of Cardcaptor Sakura is way too positive. Like, it's really bad. It's really bad, guys. This is not like a thing that you can just be like, anyway. Like, no. No. Because in Cardcaptor Sakura, first of all, Sakura's dad met Sakura's mom. Okay. The mom and the dad met when the mom was in high school and she was like 16, I think, and the dad was a teacher. And they got married that year. And they like go to school together, like they drive to school together. She moves in with him because, like, remember, he is still employed there. And she still has to go there because she has not yet graduated. And when they're telling like the story of how the parents met, it's like, oh, this is how I met your mother, and here's this super cute story, and it's like not framed like that's insane. Because yeah, I was like watching it recently, recently-ish, because I had watched it when I was a kid, and I didn't think anything about that. But when I saw that, I was like, this is so nasty. This is so bad. And I did the math because that means, I believe, I can't do math very well, but I tried to do the math, that their first kid was born when she was 18, I think, so cool. But yeah, so already jail. Already, like, actually, he should be in jail. Like, you can't do that. And like, I told my dad this is random, but I told my dad this, because I had just watched like this episode where this happened, and I was like, I need to tell somebody about this, because what's going on? But anyway, I told him, and he was like, oh my gosh, you know what? I remember when I was in like junior high, there was like this high school girl that would come to the junior high to be like teacher's assistant or something, and like she was dating one of the teachers, and like everybody knew that, and nobody ever did anything about it. And I was like, dang, the world is crazy. What's going on? Why is it like this? Get away from high schools and middle schools and every schools. Check yourself into a facility. Even fake people like Sakura's dad. You need to be committed. Somewhere else. Somewhere else. But you know what this makes me think of? Okay, Marmalade Boy. I love Marmalade Boy. I lied, because what did I just say? That Cardcaptor Sakura was so bad that nobody should even entertain it. But I'm a Marmalade Boy fan, because Marmalade Boy is so funny, guys. Nobody else cares about Marmalade Boy but me. But at the time, okay, this thing was so popular because they made a show that was like super long, like 90 episodes or something. And it had the book that I think was 6 volumes or something. I have all of them and I don't even remember how many there are. But the thing that is so amazing about Marmalade Boy is that the writer clearly, at I don't know what point, like book 4, I think. Because I think book 4 is when they introduced the plot that the boyfriend didn't know who his real biological father was, and he was like looking for him. I'm pretty sure it was in book 4 that they introduced that plot line. So I think that is where the author started vehemently hating the fact that she had to write these books. And she was like, I need to make this story as terrible as possible so everyone stops reading it and they stop contracting me to make more. Okay, so she made the student get with the teacher. and the teacher got like fired and he ran away to, I don't know, like France or something so he could avoid being arrested. And I'm like, dang, why couldn't that have happened to Sakura's dad? Okay, it happened in Marmalade Boy. Yeah, that was actually a common thread in Marmalade Boy, is like wildly inappropriate relationships happening, and then one of the parties like running away to a different country without saying anything. That happened like 3 times. So yeah, I love Marmalade Boy. And like the author's notes that would be on the side of the page in manga sometimes, it was like the author was just literally saying that she hated writing this book, and it was really funny. Like, why did they let her publish it with those notes in there where she was like, I hate writing this stupid book. You guys are so dumb for still wanting to read it. It's so bad, first of all. It's like, why did they let her write that? But also I'm glad they did, because it elevated it to, like, I have no words. It's so good. Anyway, I'm talking about Cardcaptor Sakura because not only is there a thing with Sakura's mom and Sakura's dad, which also Sakura's mom died, and I feel like she had like a really terrible life. Like she was preyed upon and then she died. Cool. But anyway, then there's something much worse. Okay, there's actually something much worse. And it is the teacher, right? Sakura is in 4th grade with all of her little 4th grade friends. They're all like 10. And their teacher, you know, he's probably 30 something. I don't know exactly, but he's, you know, he's up there, right? And one of Sakura's friends has a crush on the teacher, okay? And it's like, okay, weird, but we're gonna keep it pushing. Okay. But then there's an episode of the show where that girl reads in like a magazine or something, and it says like, oh, if you give a stuffed animal to your crush and you're like, okay, here's a stuffed animal, like, well, what are you gonna name it? And they name it after you, it means that you're meant to be together forever. And so she gives the teacher a stuffed animal, and he names it after her. And it's like, wow, I love it here. He needs to go to jail like 3 times harder than Sakura's dad. Okay, whatever. But anyway, so that's what happens in the show. But what happens in the book? That's right, in the manga, they literally get engaged. I'm not even playing, guys. Yeah. In the manga, a 10-year-old gets engaged to be wed to a 30-something-year-old. I love it here. Yeah. I'm filled with rage. That's so disgusting. But fun fact about the teacher, initially his voice actor in the show was the same as Nakago from Fushigi Yugi, but he left after a few episodes, and I like to think that decision was influenced by the fact that he found out that like the teacher and the student were going to get married. I like to believe that was part of the decision for him to have left, but I don't know why he left, so it could have been something else. But I was like, when I found out that it was Nakago, I was like, please, Nakago, why did you do this? Turns out he didn't, okay? He left after a few episodes. He was like, anyways, I made enough Nakago money. I don't need to be stooping this low. Thank you. What is his name? I forgot, but slut. His name is Nakago from Fushigi Yugi, okay? I don't care that he's a real guy. His name is Nakago from Fushigi Yugi. Yeah. Yeah, we love Cardcaptor Sakura. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, these things that happen in there, I think they're too bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's to the point that I don't think that you can, like, because, right, there's a lot of shows and stuff where there's something crazy that goes on, and you just kind of go, well, anyway, I like the rest of the show, so whatever. I'm gonna act like that didn't happen. But I feel like this in Cardcaptor Sakura, I think it's too bad. I think it's too bad. I don't think you can get past this. I don't think you can just be like, Well, I like the part where the she turns into a cool magical superhero and collects cards. I like that part. You can't just say that. It's a 30-something-year-old that just got engaged to a 10-year-old. You can't do that. You can't just act like that didn't happen. You can't just move on. You can't just be like, whoa, anyway, you can't. But also a thing that happened, I think a couple episodes after the, like, how Sakura's dad met Sakura's mom story, like, was revealed, I don't know, was Sakura's dad, he's like a professor of paleontology or something. Archaeology, not paleontology, but anyway, he comes to, like, Sakura's elementary school. He shouldn't be let in there. Anyway, but he goes there and he gives like a presentation about archaeology or something. And Shaoran like is incredibly interested, and he comes up to the dad after the presentation, and he's like, "Oh, gee, can I learn more about archaeology? Like, how do I learn more about archaeology?" And the dad is like, "Well, you can always just like come over to my house if you want to learn more." And I'm like, "Did they do that on purpose?" Like, what? We already know this man is a pedophile. You can't do that. Also, why are you inviting children to your house anyway, even if you weren't? They did that on purpose. Yeah, this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. So that makes me move into chobits. Because chobits, okay, like Cardcaptor Sakura, I have read and watched most of it. So I have, a bit more authority on the subject. But chobits, I have read the first book, and that's it. Because I bought it at half price books on clearance. Because I was like, you know what, I've heard only good things about this, that it's so wholesome and it's so cool and great. So yeah, I'll pay $1 for it. And I did. And why did nobody ever prepare me for how disgusting that book is? Like, I need everyone to go to jail. Okay, Clamp? First of all, your name is crazy. Yeah, all of you need to go to jail. Because what is it, like 4 people? Not a single one of you should be free walking amongst us. I don't want to see you guys. But chobits, right? I mean, I was gonna say there's not any, age-related issues, but there actually are. In even the first volume, that's what I'm saying. Like, you guys need to go get help. Why were they publishing your books and not being like, these people aren't okay? I don't know. Okay, that's a question for somebody. Somebody failed us. But anyway, chobits is like, the plot is that there's basically like Amazon Alexas that are like humanoid shaped. Okay, it's like a human person that's a robot, and you can be like, "Hey Alexa, clean my room," and she'll be like, "Okay," and go clean your room. Okay. So that's the plot, and the main character is like poor, I guess, and he's at work, and his boss is like, "Have you gotten yourself one of these Amazon Alexas? They're really great." And the main character's like, "No, like, I'm good. I have a laptop. Like, that's really all I need, electronics-wise." And the boss is like, "Well, these make a pretty good laptop, if you know what I'm saying." And I was just like, okay. Cool. I love it here. But they just love making this same joke over and over and over and over and over again. And it's so annoying. It's just like, everything anybody said, you could just sit there and be like, okay, well, I know exactly how this is gonna end. You could already see exactly what the rest of the conversation was gonna be, because you know it's gonna circle around somehow to being some innuendo. Innuendo is a strong word. It's like, it's not covert enough to be for you to be calling it that. But I don't know what to call it, okay, other than that. But every conversation is gonna circle around to some sort of innuendo about, yeah, actually we're having sex with Amazon Alexis. Like, it just always is that. And I'm like, okay, like, it's not that funny, first of all. Because, like, already that's kind of the implication. Okay, there's, like, humanoid robots. You're already thinking, somebody probably tried that. Probably a lot of people tried that, okay? You already think that. You don't need for every page of this book to be like, you know what I'm saying? She might be a robot, but boy, does that robot. Like, you know? Like, it's just stuff like that, where it's, like, not even clever or funny or anything. And they just keep doing it. Like, it's a new revelation every time. They're like, oh, gee, can you believe? This is so funny. Can you believe what he just said? Like, it's like, yeah, somebody else just said that same thing, like, 2 pages ago. Chill out. And I think the part that made me the most mad, because, right, the main character, he is going home from work. Remember, he doesn't have one of these Amazon Alexas, but he finds one in the trash, okay? Like, just a perfectly intact one in the dumpster. And he's like, I'm gonna get me an Amazon Alexa, it's free! So he does, and he goes home. And he's like, I just can't figure out how to turn this on. Like, I've just, like, looked everywhere, and I can't figure out where the power switch is. And I, was reading the book alone, obviously. And when I read that part of, like, I looked everywhere and I can't find the power switch, I went, because, yeah. I'm like, please do not tell me that this power switch is where I think it is. It is. He's like, oh, well, there's one place I haven't looked. Whoop. I can't do this. Why would it be there? Why would it be there? And that also brings up another question. Did they answer this in subsequent books? Maybe. But, there are guy versions of these robots. Where is theirs at? I'm scared. That's all I have to say. Yeah, no. But, yeah, the age situation from this one is there's, like, this child genius who's apparently, like, really good at robot-related things. So the guy takes his robot to this kid. And he's like, hey, can you help me figure out what's going on with my robot? Because I found it in the trash. I don't really know what's going on with it. And he's like, okay. And you see that this is, like, I don't know, like, 10-year-old or less, maybe. He has, like, a bunch of, his own Amazon Alexas. And they're all these, like, sexy French maid women that all, like, come around him and are like, hello, master. And I'm like, why can't anybody be normal for 5 seconds? Why is everything gross? Please. Please. I can't. But that's what I'm saying. Like, how do people just watch these and not be like... Guys, I don't know. I'm afraid. I'm fearful for you guys who entertain those. Like, oh my gosh. But actually, you know what? This leads me into, like, a side thing, which is a while ago, me and my friend had, like, the best time ever finding this, like, very religious anime person's blog. Like, he had his own website where he would, like, review, anime. But through his, like, very religious lens, and it would be really funny because he would, like, be onto something, and then he would just go completely off the rails. It was, like, really fun. So he did one for Cardcaptor Sakura, and he was like, man, this is so nasty. Why are these, what is going on? Like, all these people should be in jail. And I'm like, so true, sir. And then he's like, and there's gay people? That is the worst. And I'm like, okay. Clicking off. But yeah, he did it for Darling in the Franxx too, and it was, like, really funny. Because I agreed with him on his criticisms of Darling in the Franxx. And then he was like, this is actually a great representation of a conservative utopia. And I'm like, what? What? Where? What? Okay. But we found his blog because he made a whole post about how Tuxedo Mask isn't, like, the worst character ever, which is not true. He sucks. Boo, Tuxedo Mask. I always have hated Tuxedo Mask. He also should be in jail, okay? Because what is he, 20-something, and Sailor Moon is in, like, high school? Yeah. Why does everybody need to be in jail? Why does this keep happening? Mm-mm. But anyway, yeah, he made a post about, actually, Tuxedo Mask slays, and I'm like, okay. Interesting perspective, sir. Cool. But also he's a really big Utena fan, which I think is really funny. And then there was this lady who would like consistently comment on like all of his posts. And she had a Steven Universe profile picture. So this made everything like 4 million times as hilarious because she was like so on board with all of his things. And she was like she went a step further of hating gay people and trans people. And I'm like, bro, you literally have a Steven Universe profile picture. Cool. Yeah. That's really funny. But yeah. Tuxedo Mask, you weren't safe either. Because I always hated that dude. Because yeah, he just shows up. Sailor Moon is getting her ass beat, and he shows up, and you're like, cool, somebody's gonna help. And he just shows up and he goes, hey, Sailor Moon, don't give up, bye. And it's like, buy a gun. Like, do something. What are you gonna do? Throw a rose? Throw a rock? I don't know, like, something we can use. I don't know, like. And I'm saying all this as an Idolmaster fan, guys. Idolmaster? Exactly. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Everybody, I don't care if you like things that have issues, okay? But I feel like sometimes it's too much. Right? Idolmaster, here's me with the issues. Because I look at the discography of like 2,000 songs and the like 5 shows and the like 20 games, and I'm like, slay. I can look the other way. But I'm also a hypocrite. Everybody's a hypocrite. It's okay. Don't worry. Yay.